And when I look at the squad that Ten Hag has and the players that he brought in, I expect a bit more. And I feel like anything. When I look at Manchester United squad, you were saying if you come fifth, I think anything other than top 4 is unacceptable.
You know we have the worst squad depth in top 6.
How do you define? As in, what do you mean by that?
Are you telling me Maguire is a centre back?
Saying you have the worst squad depth, that's the one.
I
can make that point about me having a terrible squad depth as well.
What team do you support?
Liverpool. We have a starting extra and nobody. We have no midfielders in the whole squad. You can say your squad depth is not good, but at the end of the day, you have 2 wingers that cost what? 80 million a piece.
But that's
you have Casemiro, the best DM over the last how many years. You brought in the Sandro Martinez, the World Cup winner. You have Rafael Varane. He got injured, but you had it for most of the season. You have Rafael Varane, one of the best centre backs in the world.
This
is a very good squad.
Don't let this devolve into an argument. Don't let this devolve into an argument, right?
Coming to the season, you did not expect them to even go for top 4.
Yeah.
I thought maybe Europa or they will fight for top 4. So they've really done well for themselves to be in that position. But you don't get trophies for pushing City. If you in the next 4 years, they are not going to ask who pushed this thing to win this thing. So they've done well for themselves. But I think for the fact that they left FA Cup, they sacrificed Carabao Cup, they sacrificed Europa League, and they said they have a bigger fish to fry. But now.
Yo, welcome back to yet another episode of Shangalo. Happy Monday to you and yours. Hope you're feeling energized and all that.
We know some people that are not feeling energized today.
Not yet, but we'll get right into that. But before we get into those that are mourning their seasons, let's congratulate our second champions of the 22-23 league season, Barcelona.
Yeah, that's a tongue twister. Our second champion of the 2023 season, Barcelona. Of course, they did well this season. You know, in La Liga, we saw it. Real Madrid just didn't come to the park this season, right? And they looked like they were going to win it from time. The derbies, they put Real Madrid aside.
And it's not, I think what's exciting, that it hasn't been typical Barcelona football. Like, you can say what won them the league was how good they were defensively. And shout out to Xavi for being able to implement that to the side. As a new manager.
Yep, definitely. They had issues in attack for long spells of the season, and Sofati was unsettled, injuries, Dembele.
They had to blend in Dembele, they had to blend in Rafinha.
Exactly. So all of that, but he built a solid defensive structure, and
he had Lewandowski up top putting the goals, who has done a lot for his career over the last few years. Like that Bundesliga tax, you have to erase that from him now.
And I strongly believe that signing Lewandowski was a very good move for them, because without Lewandowski's goals, they probably won't have won.
Without Lewandowski, definitely won't have been here.
Most definitely.
So just a few more facts and fun facts about Barcelona's league win. This is their first title since the 18-19 season. This is the first major trophy they've won since Lionel Messi left. Xavi joins a very illustrious group of Barcelona managers / players to win the league as a player and a manager. That's Pep Guardiola, Johan Cruyff, Luis Enrique. These are some of the greatest things in Barcelona history. And Xavi goes right up there with the rest of them. What do you think about Barcelona's season?
I think their season has been good, even if they were not good in Europe, but I think they've done...
we knocked them out.
But I think they've really done well for themselves in the league, and I think they've considered the least amount of goals in La Liga, so I think they deserve to win.
Yeah, that's not something we are crossing in Barcelona typically. But now, congratulations to Barcelona and all their fans. Hope you guys in the comments, put your trophies in there. Shout out Abe, celebrating over there. Right. But now, let's focus on the bottlers. And we thought they bottled when we gathered here on Friday, but they've taken bottling to a whole other level. Like, the jig is so skyward right now. Arsenal, what do you guys have to say about what's going on in Arsenal?
I think before we talk about Arsenal, let's properly introduce our guest.
Let's properly introduce our guest.
Okay.
So, welcome to the Sangalo set.
Thank you.
We need to have a ritual set for all our guests. But welcome to the Sangalo set. The first female analyst we're bringing on board.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Her being a Manchester United fan
ceilings and that.
pleases my heart dearly. Jerry has a good place in my heart for now. Just for bringing her.
You didn't want to bring Arsenal guys, but I'll let you rip into them today. That's what let's do. Don't worry.
Now, Brilla FM guy, we're going to bring him.
Where is Kingsley?
We're going to bring him.
Kingsley, your seat is here. And let's get back to it.
So yeah, Tosin is here. Tosin really had, she's had some, interesting moments on TikTok. You might play her video, for people to see. She's had really interesting moments on TikTok, and yeah, just go follow her. I'm sure her handle will be be somewhere on that. But of course, she's a Manchester United fan, so
For life.
massive props.
For life.
You sound correct.
Okay, right, sure. Alright, but yeah, Arsenal, this was the worst of the lot. Like, Arsenal have shown us all sorts in recent. They took the bottling to new heights yesterday.
Arsenal
We've seen them crumble. The West Ham won, the Southampton against Liverpool. But this result, this is as bad as it gets, considering they were at home, their home form is great. And to capitulate at the end of that match like that, there's no other word but bottle.
Yeah.
Is there another way to look at
I
it?
think they are the biggest bottlers in the history of Premier League.
Right.
I mean,
because for real, because
You have been top of the season for 93% of the
precisely
of
what I
the
was going to
season.
say.
Yes.
No team has spent that long at the top of the Premier League table and gone on to lose it.
In April, they started bottling the league in April.
They started
Yes,
bottling
against
the
Liverpool,
season.
West Ham. No, I think they are the
But this
biggest
was the worst for
bottlers.
me.
Yes.
Yeah. Just to we wanted to really go hard on Arsenal, but in a way, for some reason, there's still a soft spot for them.
So yeah, that's the question of the day. So I felt we needed to table order on, let it be clear to them that they bottled.
They bottled, no.
They bottled us, like she said, this is probably the greatest bottling in Premier League
history.
And you guys have to get your flowers for that. But moving on from that, now the
You
question
have to get your bottles, your broken bottles.
No, they're bottles.
They were already having title parade before it.
Yeah, after we give them that, now we can have a more mature conversation.
Probably,
Do you think Arsenal's season was a hit or miss? Considering how highly we rated them coming into the season.
Okay. So that's the segment we're in now.
Yeah, hit or miss.
now.
Arsenal season, has it been a hit or a miss? Let us know in the comment section.
I would say I think he's in between. Because coming to the season, you did not expect them to even go for top 4.
Yeah.
I thought maybe Europa or they'll fight for top 4. So they've really done well for themselves to be in that position. But you don't get trophies for pushing City. If you in the next 4 years, they are not going to ask who pushed this thing to win this thing. So they've done well for themselves. But I think for the fact that they left FA Cup, they sacrificed Carabao Cup, they sacrificed Europa League, and they said they have a bigger fish to fry. But now, nothing.
So in my opinion, like it's a mixed bag, right? It's two things. It's a hit in the sense that there has been massive progress, massive progress from last season, massive progress from when Arteta took over 3-4 years ago. So that progress, going this far, finishing second, which nobody saw it coming, right? That's a massive thing. But it's a miss in the sense that you still feel like this will really hurt them, right? Coming this far, we saw how the pressure got to them, right? We saw how they capitulated at the end of the season. How do they pick themselves up and go again next season? They don't look like a side that wants to refresh that squad too much at the moment. Beyond any, Arsenal don't look like they're going into the transfer window and then they want to go and snap up this and that and those players. So how do they really come back from this? And it goes to say a lot about the squad as a whole. Them having dropped out of all of these competitions, focusing on the Premier League. You can say they had no excuse. They didn't play in Europe for long. They didn't qualify for Champions League. They got knocked out of Europa League early. They didn't play in Europe for long. So what really was the issue? And I think a good answer is Gary Neville's take on Sky Sports, like when he said they lack that spine, right? When you think
and
about,
they were using 8 points to pass City at that point.
do you get me?
That, yes.
So they lack that spine. They don't have those big names, or not necessarily big names, those mature heads in the squad that just pull things together. I'm all for young teams, right? I'm all for young blood, but you still need that spine. Is Partey up to it? Is Gabriel up to it? Is who else? Which other senior player? Odegaard. Those are still small boys.
So looking at Zinchenko to be your old head. So that City said wasn't good enough for them. That's your leader.
And personally, I think
Jorginho,
and personally, I think they gave up too easily against Southampton. When they drew that match, they dropped their heads, and you are going to Etihad after that game. You are not supposed to accept defeat so easily. So
my question, when I say it's a miss, I feel like if we zoom out, it's a hit because, like we said, we didn't think they were going to be inspiration, blah, blah, the inspiration. But I feel like for it to be a hit, I'm not going to put the full stop after that until I see what happens next season. Because if next season comes back and, like you said, they're not able to pick themselves up from it, then it's just a waste of a season. So honestly, if they continue to improve, then you can say, yes, it's progress. Our plan was not to win it, but just keep progressing. But if next season comes and they're fourth competing again, then it's a waste. And it's really hard to look at it from the miss when you think, if they drop those points, if they just lost to Liverpool, lost to City, and then let's say they lost against United, it's a bit more acceptable. But the fact that the matches that they lost, it's like these are matches where you should just have won these games. And even Arsenal not at their best, even in seasons to come where they're just trying for top four, these are teams that you think Arsenal can win. So there's no other way to look at it as, like I said, like bottle. But yeah, I guess all things considered, depending on how well they take this season and how they progress from it, that's when I think I'll know for sure if it's a hit or a miss.
Okay. That's fine.
So yeah, let us know in the comment section what you think of Arsenal season. Has it been a hit or a miss? And also, do you think Arsenal are going to be able to replicate this next season? Because I think that's the really crucial question Arsenal fans should be asking themselves right now.
True, very true.
Moving on from Arsenal and City and the top of the table, just a little lower but at United. And as we have a United guest with us today, I think it's an important question to ask. How do you rate Manchester United season this season? And I think we should consider that, I guess your season is not really over. They said FA Cup finals.
Yes.
So, assuming, I guess let's look at both scenarios. If you win the FA Cup, if you don't win the FA Cup, how do you rate your season? And how much will it change the season?
I think I will rate our season 7 out of 10.
As it stands?
Yes, yes. But I think even if we win the FA Cup, if we win the FA Cup, I think I'll go with 8. Because coming to the season, when we got Ten Hag, we were like, okay, maybe we could try and go for top 4. We're not even seeing. Personally, I did not see the possibility of us winning a trophy. But the man has taken us to FA Cup final, Carabao Cup final, Sevilla before Maguire and then De Gea decided to remove us from the
man. When he takes you
from Europa League.
When you come out, it's not him that got you out. It's not him that played them.
No.
But it was beyond his control.
Yes, but I think he has done so well. And I think we are going to qualify for top 4. Liverpool can only try. They can only overtake.
I guess that's another big fact. What if you do not qualify for top? That's another scenario that we haven't really discussed. And with 4 points,
I'll take that. I'll take it down.
Yeah, I think if you don't qualify for top 4, that is.
You can't tell me.
I think it's like a 5.
Yes. No, 6. I'll say 6 if we don't qualify for top 4, because we've been there too. It's like we bottled the top 4 too. It's just like Arsenal, yes. But I'm very sure we're going to qualify. We have Chelsea, that's like 3 points.
They will clip it now. It's a Chelsea fan that's doing the editing now. They'll send it to your TikTok.
I've always said it. That guy, anytime he's editing this clip, his agenda always shines through. But yeah.
So yeah, we'll qualify. And I think Liverpool will drop points to or Newcastle. But I'm very sure we are going to qualify for top 4.
Yeah. We're going to hold this to that. We keep receipts on this and gallery.
Yeah,
you can't just say that. Go back into the good works. You'll be back. So yeah, those are your thoughts. Did you give us your thoughts? What are your ratings?
So in my opinion, I'll rate the season a solid 8. Especially with Ten Hag's job steady.
Regardless of what happens next.
Regardless of what happens next. I would rate it a solid 8. Because no matter what happens, we're not even going less than 5th this season.
Yeah.
That's a fact. If you finish 5th, the season is still an 8.
No.
It's still an 8 with a Carabao Cup.
No, I don't.
With a Carabao Cup, with FA Cup final, with
8. So what do you need to do to be 10?
Calm down.
Just small more, you be 10.
No, it's about expectations, right? It's like our conversation about it's about context. It's like our conversation about Arsenal. As much as you want to bash Arsenal for bottling the top 4, they've done an excellent job. You know how we waxed lyrical, even on this show, about the way Arsenal played at the start. They played so well. They were playing so good. It was interesting to watch. Even as a player, as a Manchester United fan, it was interesting to watch Arsenal. The way they put away the smaller teams, the way they played against the big teams, it was very interesting to watch. If they can continue that style of play, definitely, good for Arsenal. But in terms of the context, right, Manchester United was a shambles. We're coming from, what's the name of that guy that took this guy
Ragnick.
Bro, it was bad. Man U was down bad, right? So, based on that context and the way Ten Hag has managed the squad, now Manchester United have the best clean sheet in top 5 in entire Europe this season.
Okay, just
best clean sheet. De Gea has already won the Golden Glove. best defensive record.
Conceded only 8 goals at Old Trafford
At
this season.
Old Trafford has become a fortress again.
Yes.
Bro, I've been embarrassed at Old Trafford for far too long.
I get all that, I get,
in
but
terms of that context, maybe not 8. Okay, maybe not 8 might be excessive,
Yes.
but a solid 7.
Because we did
but
not
thing is,
see
me,
very
for me,
solid.
I understand that you guys as United fans, you feel like it's been a bad few years, and it does feel like Ten Hag coming in as stages. But for me, it's like even during those bad few years and during, I think you've been underachieving. And I look at United now, and yeah, you're doing well in all your other competitions, but I still feel like towards this tail end of the season, there's been lots of underachieving. And when I look at the squad that Ten Hag has and the players that he brought in, I expect a bit more. And I feel like anything, when I look at Manchester United squad, you were saying if you come 5th, I think anything other than top 4 is unacceptable.
You know
With
we
this
have the
squad.
worst squad depth in
Top
top
6.
How do you define, as in, what do you mean by that?
Are you telling me
How do you-
Maguire is
that's- I
a
feel like
centre
that's
back?
saying you have the worst squad depth, that's the
Is
one.
Maguire a centre
I
back?
can make that point about me having a terrible squad depth as well. I
What
feel like
team
that-
do you support?
Liverpool.
We have a starting X and nobody. We have no midfielders in the whole squad. You guys, you can say your squad depth not good, but at the end of the day, you have 2 wingers that cost what? 18 million a piece.
But that's-
you have
They even
Casemiro.
banished
You have
one. You know
Casemiro, the
Sancho
best
just-
DM over the last how many years. You brought in the Sandro Martinez, the
Chelsea,
World Cup
Chelsea,
winner. You have
Chelsea.
He's
Rafael
injured.
Varane.
Wait,
Yeah,
wait,
he got
wait,
injured,
wait,
but he had
wait.
it for most of the season.
Wait,
You have
Chelsea.
Rafael Varane, one of the best centre backs in the world. Like,
Yes.
this is a very good
Don't let this
No,
devolve
this is
into
not
an
a
argument.
squad.
Don't let this
Bad.
devolve into an argument, right?
This is not
It's
a-
about giving your point and let me give my
Yes.
point, right? So now, this is a squad that is very new. These players that you've mentioned, the Casemiro, the Anthony, first season,
Martinez, yes.
Martinez, first season. So take that context as well. First season, just 9 months into this
I'm
guy's
taking
reign.
that question. The only question
You're
mark now.
not.
No. I'm taking it. The only way I'm giving you a question is anywhere below 4th is unacceptable. Like you can't. This team cannot
For Liverpool or for Manchester
For
United?
Man, you look at your squad is deep now. You were top 4. You were literally in top 4. Like have you been out of top 4?
So this
since when?
is my point.
You've been top 4 all
This is my
season.
point. This is my
No, we're
point.
not
eh.
top 4.
Let me say
Pretty
something.
much,
Let me say
maybe
something.
I
Let
should start
me say
well,
something. Shopsy, you should be this passionate about no other club but Liverpool.
No,
And your
no.
position.
No,
Not about
no,
Manchester
no,
United.
no, my
We
course
played
is
about
without
Manchester
a
United.
My
striker.
course is a
We
Man
played
U
without
fan,
a striker all
and it's actually,
season.
and it's just a
We
fact
played
that
without a
Liverpool and
striker
Man U
all
are the
season.
greatest rivals in
But
Premier League
we
history.
played without
So if
a
I'm gonna have
striker
beef
this
for
season.
anybody's thing.
This is not about
We
beef.
played without
No,
a
but it's
striker.
not about
Without
beef.
a
It's
about
number
your-
9, Marshall has been injured. We
Right,
have
like
weapons
we've had
that can't
no
even,
number 9.
that
Like
can't even
there's
control
no-
the ball.
even our 11,
let me just
even
say,
our
even
11 is
Sancho
not
was
I
complete.
get all that
banished at a
point,
Sancho was banished at a point. He
Right.
just came back. We have this thing.
Just
Anthony.
don't.
No,
All I'm
no,
saying
no,
is,
no,
other
no,
ones
no.
well and good. You've done well in
We
the
are
top 10.
qualifying for top 4, but
You must.
We-
That's my
we
own.
will.
So-
I wear sorry. That's all I'm saying.
I have
I wear
another
sorry.
question. I have another question.
yes,
Where do you think Liverpool finished this season?
5th.
I think Liverpool. Yeah, I don't finish 5th. I think we turned it on too late in the season. Yeah, I think if I had to bet, I'll say 5th, but it's definitely not over by a chance. Newcastle have tough fixtures, so I think if you're going to take somebody's space, it would be Newcastle's. But I feel like it's like the Arsenal thing. Like you guys were in that position all season. Like there's no dropping out. If you guys drop out top 4, do you not? If you look at your running, you look at the points that you dropped in these last 3 matches, you dropped points in 2 matches before. That means we're assuming you're going to drop points in the remaining 3 matches. That means you want to end the season drop points in like 4 or 5 matches.
No, we have
That's
2 games.
unacceptable.
Don't worry.
And we're not
We
going
need
to
to
be-
move
That's
on. We need to move on with the
unacceptable.
conversation. But
Yeah.
let me answer that question, right? I believe that Liverpool will finish 6th, right?
Behind you, Brighton.
Fifth place is for Brighton.
Yeah.
Brighton have
No,
Brighton
no,
mathematically.
No. Speaking of top 4 and predictions, a big game to decide what's going on at the bottom of the season is happening tonight. Liverpool versus Leicester City, live on the King Power Stadium. What are your predictions?
I think it will be a draw. But I see Liverpool beating Leicester City. But I think for the fact that they are trying to fight for relegation,
Yeah.
I think they should try and they will try to put up a fight. And
That the context of relegation.
Yes.
Yeah, definitely. And that's what I was going to say. Ordinarily, I would have gone for a Liverpool win.
Yes.
But this is that time of the season when these teams in relegation, they see it and they're like, no way, I'm not going down. And they just start doing, crazy stuff. So I believe Liverpool will drop points. And I think Leicester City might actually win it.
Yeah, I'm going with Liverpool for this one. As you can see, Liverpool, I mean, we're back. I mean, it's 6 wins in a row, like they're barely conceding, and all the things that make Liverpool strong that we're missing throughout the season are back. Like, our attack is back in full flow. You've seen Jota come off the bench. Like, I think Liverpool actually have the best attack in the league, and I felt that coming into the season, a lot of the injury destabilized that, but some of our best players are actually. Luis Diaz is probably our second best attacker after Mo Salah. He's back in the side. Gakpo settled in. Jota's playing well. Nunes has kind of dropped off, but it just showed the depth we have in attack. And what's been key was where our midfield was non-existent all season. That change, putting Trent Alexander-Arnold into midfield, has been a revelation. He looks like, I look at it, I think what Jude Bellingham going to do that this guy is not doing. Like, in this month since he's been in midfield, he's leading in assists, in chances created. He got 6 assists in the month of April. I think that's a Premier League record. So Liverpool look as strong as, it looks like the Liverpool of old. Like Leicester, a team in the relegation zone, they're getting swept aside, bro.
Right. I mean, it's not impossible, but you just know how relegation battles go, right?
There's that context. But I feel like they have relegation battle, but what we also have is the we're fighting for top 4. And one thing that Liverpool have shown in this running now is that, and it's been the experience about the past few seasons, that we're built for this type of fights. Like, we've been in a place where we won 10 games in a row and they still not won the titles. Like, pretty much every season for the last 3 seasons, we've won like 10 games in a row. So we're built for this more so than Newcastle, and I think more so than United. That's like this run started so late for us. That's why we can't catch either of them. But 2-3 more games. If we started this earlier, I would have thought we catch both of them, to be honest. But those are predictions for Monday's game. That's not the only game. Let us know. That's not the only game this week. We have a lot bigger games. But let us know
UCL
in the comments.
Right.
So Tuesday, the Milan derby, second leg. Inter 2-0 up. They're the home side this time.
Yeah.
What are your predictions?
I think Inter will go through.
Yeah.
Because they are at home and they've won 2-0 already. I don't know how AC Milan can come back from that.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I think
I'm gonna have to. They look like the better side.
I think Inter.
Leao might be back.
Leao might not actually even be back. Might not be back. So
and that would have given them an outside chance if they had their best side back and if he went off. But no, that's probably not gonna happen. So I think we're all going with Inter. Let us know your thoughts. Who you're going with? The biggest game of the season, of the week, of the year. World Cup final was last year. Man City versus Real Madrid. The rematch from the Etihad. All to play for. Tied at 1-1. These are probably the 2 favorites for the Champions League. What do you think? The winner of this game is probably going to win the Champions League.
Yeah, so with Madrid and Manchester City, I mean, there was that conversation of, let's go back to Etihad and see what happens. But this is Real Madrid. Real Madrid don't care who's at home, who's away, who's neutral, who is in heaven, who is in hell. They don't care. They would play like they're playing the Champions League, and you know, it's basically their birthright. And Vinicius is so good.
Yeah, best winger in the world this season. He's got to be.
He's so good, but my if I betting Real Madrid to win.
Because I'm going to give it Man City, but it's so hard to
So I'll go with Man City because they are very strong at home at Etihad, and you have Haaland. I think I don't know, but Real Madrid is different in Champions League, so you don't know. Anything can happen there.
It's like the 2. If I had to pick who I want to win Champions League, probably 2 teams.
Yeah, either one of them.
I don't want either of them. No, but I don't want.
You don't want either of them.
Yeah, I'm taking Bayern.
I'll take Madrid to win.
I would actually take Madrid.
I'll take Chelsea. I'll take almost anybody else besides 2 sides.
I'll take Madrid.
By prayers with them. But yeah, Thursday, the Europa League and the Conference League are picking up. European football is just everywhere. Europa League fixtures, Bayern Leverkusen versus Roma, the second leg, Bayern at home. Roma 1-0 up. What do you guys think? Do you think special one's doing it?
Yeah, for me, I think Mourinho is built for this kind. Like you said, Liverpool is built for. Mourinho is built for these kinds of runnings, right? He's been knocked out of the Champions League places in the league. So that was interesting for him because, you know, he was right there, he was in it, and then until Juve got their points, you know, reinstated, and then they just Roma just kind of lost their way. But with Mourinho doing it with Manchester United, winning the Europa League was a massive coup in and of itself, and I believe he can do that again with Roma. So yeah, I think Roma will go through. They just need to draw 0-0, and they go through. 1-1, they still go through, and you know,
that's Mourinho team. 1-1 in your house, right? But yeah, speaking of Serie A sides and Juventus are in the second game. Juventus versus Sevilla, like we mentioned, the Europa League, Real Madrid. 1-1 and Sevilla at home in this game. What are your predictions?
I think Sevilla might go through because they are very good in Europa League. And Paul Pogba just got injured in their last game.
20-something minutes into coming back.
Yes, but I think if Juve should put up a fight, they might win. But I think Sevilla, they are a different breed in Europa League. So I might go with Sevilla. I don't know. I just...
No might, actually. You don't want us to be able to hold you. say it categorically.
She has already said that big
Same
one
here.
that we would have.
Yes.
But so yeah, like I said, there's the third European competition,
Yep.
and that's quite exciting as well. West Ham are in it. That's the game we're going to touch on now against. I don't know if you saw that
AZ
young boy
Alkmaar.
called them Alphabet FC. There's a
Yeah,
West Ham fan game going
one
around.
small boy like this.
Yeah, so yeah, West Ham versus Alphabet FC, according to him. What do you guys think is going to happen? West Ham did well to come back and win that game.
Yeah, I think West Ham just need to go there and just defend and come through.
Yes.
They would need a massive capitulation to actually
Yeah.
miss out on this because they let go of all other things, especially even in the league too. They sort of focused on the conference league, right? And yeah, they're almost safe. They need one more win in the league to be safe. They should just go all out with this one and then just go to the final.
So that's our brief wrap up on this week and I guess the weekend of football. But before we leave you today, we're going to quickly touch on the NBA. So the playoffs are heating up as we've mentioned, and we have two more casualties. The Golden State Warriors left over the course of the weekend.
Yep.
The Los Angeles Lakers eliminated them 4-2 in LA. Big W for Lakers. LeBron James put up his best performance in a long time since his injury. And going home, our MVP is going home. Our African MVP, Joel Embiid. MVP, all that, but he's going home. And it was actually quite embarrassing the way they went home last night. The Celtics destroyed them. And hats off to Jason Tatum. We mentioned him last time. He went off in game 6, in the fourth quarter of game 6, and he went absolutely crazy in this game 7.
Yeah.
The record with 51 points in the game 7.
Yeah, so I believe the embarrassment is a little dialed down because it is a Celtics side that you think is a championship side, a championship
Yeah,
winning
they've been
side
to
in
low
and of
conference
itself,
finals.
And besides the scandal with Ime Udoka, they've been there, they've been really good
They've been in and
this
around
season.
this.
So it's not that embarrassing, but considering the fact that
Performances were a bit embarrassing. Like James Harden, come on.
I mean,
Yeah, you can't-
I think
Embiid
going out against Celtic is not as embarrassing as people are trying to make it out to seem.
I think
They could have done
circumstances,
better,
Like they've got blown out.
right? They
like-
could have done better, I
yeah.
think, but it's still a Celtic side
And
that can do
anytime-
that to any team
They
in
can.
the NBA.
And I guess when you add the context that they were 3-2 up as well, so they lost 2 games in a row. But yeah, shout out to the Celtics. How they progress is going to be very interesting. Very, very young side who's been together for a few years now. If they can go all the way, that'll be a big moment in the
massive.
sport. All right, thanks for rocking with us once again on Shangalo. It's very special. Thank you to our guests here. We appreciate you.
Thank you
And
for having me.
your receipts will be held for the next time you come on
I'll
this
be
show.
back
She'll be
after
back.
Chelsea game.
She'll be back after,
Yes.
after Chelsea United game. We're going to have a chance to say about that. Thanks once again, Tele, as usual.
most definitely.
And to our wonderful viewers at home, we appreciate you. Like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. Peace. And let us know your predictions for all these matches.
Oh yeah, most definitely your predictions. Peace.